Anybody around this area in 1989 during the Loma Prieta earthquake? Me too. Del Rio Beach, California, October 17, 1989. Nothing in Angel's college classes had taught her how to persuade a schizophrenic man to give someone else a turn in the shower. The sibilant sounds of the running water quieted his demons and gave him his only peace. Within Jerry's matted head churned awful worlds. The other shelter residents called him a priest of devils, conjuring evil with his constant muttering that nobody understood. His inner voices had taken over all circuits. To the residents, Jerry was a living symbol of the worst that could happen. Angel Kelly didn't fear him. Her professors lectured about schizophrenia, but she recognized Jerry's kind from fairy tales. She knew all about heartbreak and lost travelers alone in haunted woods. Jerry's was a very old story. To tell the truth, she felt a kinship with him. She was so sad these days and so mixed up that maybe they understood each other. Jerry certainly knew the kind of loss that would take a fairy tale to explain. He and Angel were both the lost children in the woods as well as the monsters that chased them. Monsters did not fear other monsters. This wasn't to say Jerry did not have fears. He hated buildings. He took his meals in the courtyard and slept there too. Angel rigged a tarp for him when it rained and called it shelter. That hot Tuesday in mid-October, the story on the street was that Jerry got over his phobia of the indoors long enough to go into the Ace Hardware, grab a machete from the gardening tools, and hack a fellow's head off. The tellers of the tale, streaming in for the dinner hour, granted that the story was probably at least partially a fiction. No one had seen it happen. There was no bloody head rolling in the garden tools aisle for proof. Yet when Jerry hunkered down in the outdoor shower stall, only Angel dared approach. The other residents spat on the patio cobblestones. They snatched at their misery with curses, too spooked to say his name. Angel entered the world of white steam in which Jerry stood naked in the color of dirt. Water dripped from the point of his beard. He was an earthen castaway. He was the spirit of a tree. Did you use soap? Angel asked. Yeah, I use soap. You're not my mother. Okay, she said, backing out. Hurry up. The afternoon sun dried the wet beads on her eyelashes. The sun crushed the courtyard with an unrelenting heat that was putting everybody in a bad mood. Jerry slammed the door open and loped past them, his long whiskers jumping as he murmured incantations. His clothes clung to his wet skin. He padded across the hot stones on bare feet as gnarled his roots. The other men stood off some yards just in case he was in a hacking mood. Within the kitchen, all was at peace. The new college volunteers chatted while a box fan whirred in the window. They were two young, white, hippie-style girls with long, shiny hair and flowing skirts. Joni Mitchell crooned out of the tape player, and Jerry stood in the corner by the dry goods pantry, pointing one snaggle-nailed finger at the plank floor. What are you doing inside, man? Angel asked. He raised his head. The clouds from his eyes fell away, and just like that, there was no more underworld king, just a man. Jerry, she whispered. She had heard of this, moments of clarity in a schizophrenic mind. She'd never expected to have one with Jerry. I'm so happy to see you, she said. Go outside, he growled from the back of his throat. Sweet Angel, get out of here now. Go outside now. Why? She asked. His face twisted with the effort of a person trying to speak a foreign language. Danger, he said. Danger, Will Robinson. He waved frustrated hands, then bowed out the door. She moved to follow, but one of the volunteers called her back. There's a man in the lobby asking to see the permits, she said. God damn, Angel said. Jerry returned to his regular spot under the elm tree in the corner of the courtyard by the fence. He was agitated, the darkness having descended once more. Angel felt as helpless as if someone she loved had disappeared in fog. Her boot heels echoed on the stairs down to the basement office. The city council sent an inspector almost every day. Behind her back, the mayor called her the queen of the trolls. This tidbit came from a former classmate who worked in his office. The bigwig said the shelter attracted the homeless to the city and bums were bad for business. Angel thought somebody had to stand up for guys like poor Jerry out there circling the elm tree. She scooped the paperwork from the big desk into an envelope and paused on the stairwell. Shelter noise thumped overhead. Dinner time. Footsteps fell as heavy as a succession of tired soldiers. A plate shattered. The thought of the city man stampeded by 27 grumpy homeless guys made her smile. Then the world ended. A deep rumble of sound followed by shaking. The light bulb popped in a shower of filament in glass. Shoved by invisible hands, Angel fell to her knees. The floor rocked on a furious sea. She groped for the desk and crawled beneath it. Her forehead rammed the woods and jumped around her shoulders. Choking dust exploded in her nose. She cupped her face and breathed into her hands. There was no room to run. There was rumbling and crashing on top of the rumble, and another wave slammed the massive oak desk against her head. A greater sound thundered underneath the crashing. A tsunami, a freight train driven by an angry god. The shaking stopped, but it didn't stop. The concrete floor writhed as if invested with worms. There were no borders in the pitch blackness. She did not begin and she did not end. She was the desk, she was the bricks, and she was the ceiling coming down. The desk cracked in a muffled sound, then silence. Angel could not move. The space under the desk now contained her body and a pile of hard things, splintery things. Grit covered her fingertips, lips, and teeth. A scream erupted in her throat, but she swallowed it down and thought there was not enough air for that. She was no queen or angel. She was a shut mouth. She was a closed eye. She was a crumpled page in a book of tales the earth did not want to